So we're talking about drinking today.
I love it. Alcohol, drinking, and the healing journey. I feel like I get this question all the time. I don't know about you. People always want to know, can I drink? Should I drink? Do I have to cut back drinking? Is alcohol going to be a detriment to my healing journey? Like, it's just such a hot topic.
I actually feel like I don't get that question as much as, I mean, I feel like you get it more because of your like
Yeah, because I
specific
don't
focus
drink.
on the liver and all
That
that
too.
stuff. Um, Coffee I get all the time. Alcohol not so much.
Which is funny. No one asks me about coffee.
Really?
Everyone asks me about alcohol.
I guess it's the maybe just the different niches that we're in
I was gonna
because
say maybe
people
it's like
tie,
hormones versus liver. Yeah,
yeah, people
totally.
tie in coffee with hormones so much more just because they hear it all the time. And
Hmm.
then obviously people tie alcohol to the liver.
I mean,
So,
big surprise.
very big surprise.
And I also think it's like the reason I get the question is because I'm pretty transparent about the fact that I don't drink, right?
Hmm.
Maybe if someone hasn't followed me for a while, I don't talk about it every day, but like I don't drink. I haven't, I stopped drinking when I was like, had just turned 23, maybe right before my 23rd birthday, which is so funny because now that's almost 4 years ago. And because I'm about to turn 27 in a
I know
week.
your birthday's coming up, right?
It's literally a week from yesterday. So well, by the time this is out, my birthday will have passed, but I'll take any happy birthdays. But it was like right before my 23rd birthday. And since then I've only drank twice. Like I tried it again, of
Hmm.
course you'd be questioning, like, oh, maybe I want it. Maybe it was just cutting it out for the time being. And every time I try it, it's just unsatisfying. Like I think it's like when you add back foods or like foods that you liked when you were a child, right? Like those types of things you try again and you're like, oh, did I really
Hmm.
like that much?
Hmm.
And like maybe it's because I'm not getting drunk, like obliterated, but like it's just never as satisfying to me.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. Um, I obviously do drink. If people
Yeah.
follow me, they
And
see
that's why I'm
that.
like,
But
this is a good conversation because, and it's not like I judge people or anything. And it's not like you
hmm,
judge people who don't. That's why it's just a good
exactly.
conversation because it's just two different perspectives.
Hmm. I do think a time and a place in your healing journey for sure. Like, as with anything,
Yep.
to cut it out
Yep.
completely,
I always say that to people.
especially, if you are healing your hormones or healing
Hmm.
your liver, healing your gut, whatever,
Yeah,
it for sure has a place to be cut out. And
totally.
especially if you're, like having wine every single night, because I feel like it's such that culture, especially if you're like
Yeah.
a mom or a busy woman, where
Or
like,
even just
have
someone
your
in your
glass of
20s,
wine.
same thing,
Yeah.
like being like, oh, going out to people would schedule happy hours every single week.
Hmm. Yeah. And I feel like, and then also with the social media thing too, everybody
Mm,
sees it all over social media. So,
yeah.
I definitely think that might be a little bit much, especially if you are, like trying to live a healthier
Yeah.
lifestyle. But I also get the point of not wanting it to be a deprivation thing and
Yeah.
like
And I
hurting
totally
you
get that.
mentally
Absolutely.
because, you know, we both know that does just about the same
Hmm.
amount of damage if you're
Yeah.
stressing about something like that versus if you're just enjoying, like one glass of wine every night
Hmm.
and you really enjoy it.
And there's always that fine line for anything,
Hmm.
especially for drinking. And I like weigh into my clients. I try and get people to think about like society's view of drinking and why
Hmm.
they're drinking, right? Like, are you drinking because you enjoy it? Are you drinking because why not? Are you drinking because you're just used to it or because everyone else is? Like, think
Hmm.
about that because I just find people in general, overall, drink socially.
Hmm.
And maybe not necessarily even when they want to. Maybe it's just because everyone else is drinking and they feel weird without something in their hand.
Hmm.
Or maybe it's just because every time they hang out with a specific group of friends, it's always a wine night, right? And so they want to participate.
Hmm.
And so I like I know I'm not a psychologist, but I just like weigh in. I'm like there because drinking has so much to do with behavior.
Hmm.
So I'm like, do you like it? Is it because you want to? Is it because someone else expects you to?
I've had people tell me that before. They're like, especially, it was actually someone hanging out like with my family in general. They're like, I love hanging out with you guys because my family, they're like predominantly German, so they're like big beer drinkers
Okay.
and they love like, not like overboard like alcoholism
No, I know what you mean.
beer drinkers, but they just, enjoy a good beer. But they never pressure anybody like coming to hang out or coming into the family to like always pick up a drink. And somebody told us once, they're like, I love hanging out with you guys because I don't feel like I have to constantly have a drink to socialize. Like with
Yeah.
this other group of friends that I hang out with, they're like, everyone always has a drink and I feel like I have to, like, I've put
Yeah.
water in my empty beer bottle before just to like look like I'm socially participating in drinking. And that's where I think it's kind of sad.
It's so sad. And okay, so like I said, cut out drinking a long time ago, and I would still go to the bars with my friends. I would still go to happy hours with my friends. I've had people tell me I'm boring, I'm no fun anymore because I'm not, because I go out with them and I drink water.
Mm-hmm.
Or honestly, like it didn't serve me anymore. And so
Mm-hmm.
there are people out there that will judge you, and I'm not going to deny that. I've heard that more times than I can count. But like I stood firm in what I believed in because if I'm going to choose to drink because they want me to drink, that's the wrong decision, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not when you want to
Yeah.
do it.
If you're confident in your decision and you're still having fun, like, who cares
Yeah.
what they're thinking?
And
If
then at
they
one point,
can't have fun because you're not drinking, then that's their problem.
that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you guys, like, I am loud and chatty. And like, it's not like like, yeah, I was loud and louder and chattier when I drank, but like, it's not, this isn't decreasing because I'm
Yes.
sober.
For me, I do get a little more social when I
Of
drink.
course you
That's
do. Everyone
100%.
does.
Yeah, because I am very quiet and very reserved just in general. So just like one drink will definitely
It's liquid
loosen me
courage.
up a little bit.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same for everyone. And that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, I also challenge people for that. I'm like, do you feel like you need it to loosen up? If so, maybe tap in, see like, what can I do? Is it because I'm uncomfortable with these people or is it just because I'm quieter? Right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always challenging people when it comes to drinking. And especially, like you said, in the healing journey, it depends where you are on it. If you're someone like I was very, very ill when I first cut out drinking,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, ran to the bathrooms everywhere, like not good. And
Yeah.
drinking was not helping me. And I knew that.
No.
I was like, it's obviously not helping. And I wasn't cutting it out to feel like I was restricting myself. I was cutting it out because it seemed like a no-brainer to get me a step further in my healing journey. And if that's you, like you can cut it out for a period of time, add it back in. I even had a client recently who cut it out because they told her she had fatty liver and then came back to me. We'd been working together like 4 months or so and was like, I had a couple of drinks with a girlfriend the other day and I had cut out drinking for a while, took my liver support, took my minerals, took a binder. Next day felt fine. No
Mm-hmm.
issues, no nausea, wasn't hungover, and she felt like shit. And I gave her some minerals, gave her a liver support, gave her some binders. She felt instantly so much better. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because you have these tools. One, we've cleaned out her liver crazy, but also she has tools that she knows hydration obviously impacts drinking. It obviously
Mm-hmm.
impacts your liver. And I mean, binder mostly binds to toxins. Like I know people do charcoal when they drink, but like that's also not beneficial if you're drinking every day. But that's a whole other can of worms. It's
Yeah.
just, I think it has a time and place. Like we said, it just depends on you. For me, it in no way, shape, or form was serving me.
Mm-hmm.
I was not benefiting from like drinking. And honestly, I only binge drank at the time. I didn't drink. I didn't drink to like have a glass of wine because I felt like it was a waste of like calories and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had a history of a liver disease, I guess mine's a very different situation. But I drank because I wanted to like feel buzzed, tipsy, drunk, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that if the next day I'm going to be in pain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't get people that can do that every single day. I'm just
Oh,
like,
no.
how do you live for one? Two, how do you just like you got to feel like shit constantly.
Oh, yeah.
And do you just not know what it's like to feel good? I don't know. But
Honestly, probably not
yeah.
because alcohol, it's going to bog down your liver. So that's going to impact digestion. That's going to impact bile, pooping, a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Hormones,
Yep.
the ability to eliminate other toxins out of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So it just
Yeah.
fills your toxin bucket more.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
it's
again,
like
that's
constantly giving your liver an extra toxin that it has to
Yeah.
process. So again, it's not going to be processing all the other toxins that it needs to. So if you have a hormone issue, it's not going to be getting rid of that estrogen like it's supposed to. It's going to be
Yeah.
focusing on the alcohol instead.
Yeah. And same with like, it also dehydrates you. We know that about alcohol, but
Mm-hmm.
hydration is key for literally so many functions of your body. We know that being properly hydrated, good for your kidneys, good for your bowels, good for your liver, good for your lymph, everywhere. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it just, if I mean, if you're drinking every day, right? I'm not saying the occasional drink, but if you're drinking every day, it just puts you at more of a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes it harder for your body to do a lot of things.
Exactly. And if you think about any time that you've ever drank a lot and you wake up in the morning,
Oh my
literally all
God.
you want is water.
Yeah. You're
It's like you,
SpongeBob.
yeah, you just can't drink enough water.
Yeah. You're literally dried out SpongeBob in Sandy's air bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And I know personally also, I've always, just like my whole life, blood sugar has been a thing I've been aware of. I
Mm-hmm.
get low blood sugar pretty easily. I used to get shaky when I was younger. I just have to make sure I have balanced meals and like I'm balancing it now and like I don't have any blood sugar issues anymore, but like just
Mm-hmm.
have to be aware of it. But for me, I would have crazy low blood sugar when I drank. Not everyone's going to get that way, but like the next day I would be shaky. And even if I ate before or after, right, it's just that it's adding so many sugars like to your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, I felt like I couldn't eat anything, one, because I was like nauseous, but then I can't balance my blood sugar. And then I'm sitting there like feeling like death.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are someone with blood sugar issues or diabetes or insulin resistance, another thing to think about.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Again, I'm not saying anyone has to be as extreme as me. It just
Mm-hmm.
stopped serving me in my life. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just, I haven't added it back in since. I've tried a couple of times. And every time I did, it just was like, that was fine. But like, when do we do anything in life that feels fine?
Exactly. Yeah. I think when you cut it out for so long too, and you realize how good you feel without it, and then once you add it back in, and it's like, huh, that the effects of this after is just not as good because I'm like that. I don't drink near as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I ever drank that much to begin with, but now I'm like one or two and I'm good.
Yeah.
Even in social situations, I'm like, I'm fine. You guys can keep going. I'm good.
Yeah. And like, I totally agree. Like, I guess part of it also was like, I felt so bad at this point when I'd cut out drinking for a year or two, whatever. I had felt so bad for so long unintentionally, like things out of my control, right? I would
Mm-hmm.
wake up and feel like garbage. I would get brain fog. I would get fatigue. Like when you feel like you can't think properly and then you're putting something in your body that makes you feel the same way, like, why would I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say to my clients, the reason like I don't drink anymore doesn't mean you have to. It's just because I feel so good all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know how good you can feel, I'm like, why would I intentionally feel bad? Right. I'm not saying there aren't going to be days where I might have a little more brain fog or I might be a little bit more fatigued just because life happens. I'm still detoxing a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
But why would I intentionally do that?
Yeah. That's how I feel about getting drunk now. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? Why? Because I have a very high tolerance, so it takes a lot for me
Woohoo.
to get drunk. So at this point, I'm just like,
Party
I'm
M.
fine. Except I've never been a partier. Reed's
Ugh.
birthday's coming up, and he's like, I want to party for my birthday, and I'm like, okay, I'll be the driver. So,
I, and that's a great way to like, if you want to not drink and you want to go out with your friends, be the driver. I've always
mhm,
done that. I did that in high school. I
yeah.
mean, sorry, we couldn't drink in high school. Ever we drank in high school. Because I knew I had
Sometimes
like
I joke that I drank more before I turned 21 than
I
after.
I stopped drinking before I turned 23. Of course I drank more before I turned 21,
Yep.
which is so funny. I'm like, damn, I stopped drinking before I turned 23. But
Saves you a
I
lot of
mean,
money, hey?
it does. I also put it towards like food because
Yeah.
and when people talk about how expensive it is to heal, like I totally get it, right? But we all prioritize things. And I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that truly can't afford it. There are.
hmm
But just in general, we all prioritize things differently. I
Yep.
don't drink. I don't spend money on getting my nails done like a lot of my friends. Like I spend money on supplements and high quality food.
hmm
And the money that doesn't go towards alcohol and eating out and goes towards high quality food pretty much evens out.
That's me. Except I recently have been getting my nails done just because it makes me happy. So
Oh no, do whatever makes you happy. I just like
yeah, no, I
prioritize
get it. Yeah.
wherever I want to put it. I don't get my nails done, but I get a massage almost every month or energy healing. I do one of the two because it's like almost the same price.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. I just do like the simple like polish change for like $20. So
That's not bad.
yeah.
But it
Anyway.
yeah, I was like, so back to driving. You can always drive for your friends. You can always just drink water. If you really want to hide it, you could always hide it that way, but I'd just rather not lie.
I mean, you can still get like sparkling water and lime or bring your
Yeah.
little salt shaker and make a salty marg at the bar.
I do have a mini Redmond salt shaker, so I never would have thought to do that, but that's so true. Or you can always just opt for like, if you're trying to think of like, well, how do I hang out with my friends if I'm not drinking? Okay, could you go out to eat? And if you're like, oh, I can't do that, could you go out to coffee, bring your own king? Could you go on walks? Could you go to fitness classes? Could you go shopping? If you're like, I'm not trying to spend a lot of money, you could always go grocery shopping together. You go to the bookstore, you go to the library. There's like, I mean, I go on walks and like coffee shops with most of my friends. That's what I try and do. And fitness classes. But there's like a lot of different things. And if all those people want to do is drink, and they're not reaching out to you unless they're reaching out to you about drinking plans, maybe you need to talk to them about that.
Or maybe that
Maybe
might
those
not be
aren't the people
somebody,
for you. I know. Yeah.
that you want to be hanging out with.
And that's happened to me a lot in my life. So like I get it. It's not easy. But like maybe it's just time to accept that people grow apart. And maybe if you don't want to grow in that direction, you don't have to. You can just like not hang out with them as much at this point. Invite people over for a great game night, go to trivia night. Those are literally two of my favorite things in the entire world. Escape rooms. Like maybe you're not as nerdy as me, you don't want to do that stuff, but everyone loves a good game night. And if you don't, I think you just haven't found the right game.
It's true.
I know. I always invite people over for game night and they're always hype about it. And then they bring in their own drinks if they want to, right? Like I tell them, they're like, what do you want me to bring? I'm like, whatever you want to drink. I don't have anything. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's only taken me 4 years to come up with this many ideas. No, just kidding. Or like intramural sports. Like if you have friends you play sports with, we played dodgeball, we played volleyball. My boyfriend plays softball and soccer. I know Reed plays hockey.
He does.
Yeah.
It's too hot here in the summertime to you like get together. I don't know how they play hockey in the summertime because they play roller hockey, so it's outside.
Ugh.
And I'm just like, that's why I make him the giant salty margs with the watermelon because
I don't know
that boy
how he would
needs so
survive.
much
Yeah.
hydration. He's almost passed out from heat exhaustion like 3 times.
So if someone's like, but I want to drink sometimes, what are your favorite drinks that you're like are better-ish options or like you only have a couple of? I know people say tequila all the time. Tequila is also anti-parasitic. You get like
I would go for a clear alcohol is what I always suggest. So tequila and gin are my favorites. I know a lot of people like vodka too.
Yeah.
Vodka is made from corn usually or potatoes. So
I know Tito's, I'm pretty sure it was potatoes. Because 100% gluten-free. Tito's, if you need certified gluten-free, Tito's.
yeah, Tito's is pretty good. They do make a couple organic vodkas that are pretty good. And then I think I told you I had found one that was like filtered through charcoal rocks.
You did say
it
that.
actually tasted very like minerally, but also like clean to me, like in a really good way, like almost like a really good like mineral water would taste.
Okay.
It was very interesting. I really like that one. But yeah, I always suggest gin if you like it because gin is one of the cleanest alcohols.
It's funny because I've never heard anyone suggest gin. Maybe it's because they don't like it. Everyone that I know of in this space is always saying tequila or vodka.
I do gin or tequila over vodka usually. I know everybody, I think like you said, gin is a very particular palate.
Yeah. It's like if you like the taste of pine needles, and I loved gin, so I'm with you, but I didn't.
I also have a gin that I love. It's a Japanese gin. It does not have the traditional gin taste. It tastes much more citrusy and flowery. So I really like that one personally.
Okay.
Is one of my favorites. So I always tell people if you don't like gin, try that one because it has a very good citrus taste to it.
So then what do you make for mixed drinks? Because when I drank and started my health journey, I always had either vodka Tito's on the rocks, which didn't taste good. It was a means to an end. Or I would have a vodka water and then squeeze lemons and limes into it. Also didn't taste very good. Like, do you have anything that like doesn't taste bad? You can order at a bar, you can order out.
Um, honestly, I can't even remember the last time I ordered a mixed drink at a bar because
That's fair.
Reed used to be a bartender, so he likes to create
Oh, that's
all the
fun.
different drinks and we just like do it at home for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is always on a mission to do like the healthier versions for me. So like totally just fruit and
That's so good
stuff.
though.
Yeah,
So everyone's
so
jealous. So you're telling us is you're going to make a cocktail like little highlight on your feed of what Reed makes.
yeah. So he'll normally do, like I said, either gin or tequila. Lately we've been into mezcal just because one of
Mm.
his friends is really into mezcal and he gave us some. And it's really good. And I'm pretty sure I'm not like a knowledge expert on alcohol, but I'm pretty sure mezcal is like even the cleaner form of tequila
Okay, I
because
believe it. I
it's
know
like the
it's similar to
unprocessed,
tequila.
unfiltered, straight from agave, whatever. Um, so it's really good. So we've been doing that, and he'll usually, if he's making me a margarita, he'll just do the mezcal. Um, Usually just a little bit of lemon and lime and some salt, and he'll do like a squeeze of orange for the sweetener, and that's about it.
Oh, I love that. That's good. That's good to like know. And I know there's always going to be people out there that like want to just have their canned beverages. And like, I don't know anything about those. I know that a couple of them are certified gluten free, if that helps at all. But like, they do typically have sugar, don't they? Or like fake sugar. So like,
Yeah, like the sugar alcohols. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't really drink the mixed beverages, so I don't really know either. I know the whole thing, like the Truly beverages and all that, they were
I know
supposed to
Trulies are
be
very sugary
cleaner.
though.
Yeah, they were marketed as being cleaner, but I looked at them one day and I'm like, no.
Fun fact, Spindrift has spiked seltzers, but only sold in California and Massachusetts right now. So
Yeah.
still trying to
Yes.
get my hands on them just so I can force my family to drink them and tell me what they think.
Yeah, Reed and I were looking at him and he's like, I would just take a can of Spindrift and mix it with a
Right.
little bit of alcohol. He's
Yeah,
like,
you could
rather than
easily do that.
spending $12 on 6 cans. Because
Yeah,
that's
I
what
would
we,
totally do it just to buy it, just to try it though.
yeah, I would try it. But yeah, that's another one that we do a lot too, is just like
Love that.
tequila and Spindrift. And
Yeah,
I'll
so
add like an extra squeeze of lime or something.
Spindrift sponsor us. We are big fans. I literally made my parents buy 4 cases the other day, but that's
We
because
will spinfluencers for life.
oh, literally spinfluencers. So like if you don't know what Spindrift is, it's like seltzer. It is seltzer water, and the reason we like it is because it's just with juices, right? It's
Yeah.
whatever. It's just carbonated water and like lemon juice, carbonated water, lime juice, cherry juice, whatever. So some of them, like in terms of grams of sugar, might have some if it's like a higher glycemic fruit that's in it. But in general, they're very low sugar and not even about sugar, just like they taste good and the ingredients are ingredients that you could make yourself.
Yeah. Most sparkling waters have natural flavors in
Yeah.
them
Hmm.
rather than being sweetened with real fruit juice.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with the seltzers too. Almost every seltzer you're going to buy has
Good
natural
point.
flavors in it. So
Yeah.
just keep that
So
in
just
mind.
buy Spindrift. They have a 3 pack at Costco. If you like lemon, lime, or grapefruit, you just have to get one of those 3 flavors. But, you know, if you want to branch out into our world, go to Target or Whole Foods, or I don't know where you get them.
I get them at Target usually.
Okay, same.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't have a Whole
big
Foods,
Target.
so
Oh.
I'm
Our Whole
it's pretty
Foods
sad.
just started getting more than like 2 flavors. They used to only have like lemon, lime, grapefruit, pineapple.
I found a huge stash of lemon lime at Target the other day, and remember I tell you I can never find
You
that one,
never,
and
did you
that
get like
was my
4?
favorite. I got quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, no judgment. There was a
Yeah.
buy two get one free sale a couple of weeks. It was actually probably 2 months ago at this point, but I did it twice. Like the one time there was no lemon lime, so I got a couple of the other flavors we like the half and half, the pink lemonade, and something else. And then I went back and there was lemon lime, so I got 3 more. And I come home and Dan's like, "You got 6 things of Spindrift." I was like, "Yes, we'll go through it."
Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't had lemon lime, it tastes like Sprite without the sugar.
It
It's
literally does.
delicious.
Yeah. And the pink lemonade's phenomenal too.
Yeah, I love that one. We have
Yeah.
both of those in the house right now.
Yep. Same. Lime's like a good substitute. I like the lime one. It's a good substitute. It's not the same as lemon limeade, but I like it enough.
I like the raspberry lime.
Mm. I haven't had that in a while.
That one's not in your. Usually that one's in the 3-pack that comes from Costco.
Oh, our 3-pack is only grapefruit, lemon, and lime.
I guess maybe that was the recent one that I bought.
I was gonna say they might
Was
have like
yeah,
rotated. Yeah.
they change it sometimes. But
Yeah, because my dad gets those now. I mean, I bought them when I was at their house because I was making my little CXT salty mark things. So I made them take me to Costco and we got lemon limeade and he liked that. And then he goes, "Or no way, they're at Costco." And now he has 2 Costco packs, a pineapple pack, and a pink lemonade pack. So you're welcome, parents, for now holding down the Spindrift Market.
that's funny.
Yeah. So if you want an easier way to make mocktails, cocktails, literally get a Spindrift and put alcohol in it. That's probably easier. At the time, I think Spindrift was very, very new at the time. Because when I was still drinking, it was literally like 2017, 2018. Seltzer, lemon, lime, vodka. Gross. Didn't taste good. Didn't like it. It was a means to an end.
A lot of seltzer waters also have sugar in them too, though.
Yeah.
Like seltzer and tonic waters.
Yeah.
Because
Tonic water, people wouldn't think has sugar, but tonic water has
Tonic
sugar.
water does, yeah. Because a lot of times people will be like a vodka and tonic or something like that. And I'm like, okay, you're still drinking like cane sugar though.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the label on a tonic bottle, it has a surprising amount of sugar in
I
it.
know. Yeah, like I found at least the club soda I got didn't have anything in it.
Yeah, club soda is usually pretty good, but some of the like the really popular brands that, especially if you're not at a higher end bar, some of them do have sugar in it also.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah. So, I mean, you just got to be aware. I don't know. I'm just back on that thinking about drinking recently train because now that like not like the world wasn't open before, but like for a while people were barely leaving their houses, right? And it's way past that. It's now that everyone's out all the time and it just like makes me reevaluate things. And I always do this because I'm like, do I really want to not drink? Am I doing it just because I think I have to? And then I like try again. The one time I had some Dry Farms wine, which is like the cleaner wine, no sulfates, blah, 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 because my mom had some, gave me a bottle. And my boyfriend tells the story beautifully, but I drank like half a bottle by myself, which is only like literally 2 glasses. 2 glasses. I had an intense sugar high. I was running around like a child. And then I was like drunk for about 5 minutes. And then I literally passed out. I was asleep. He's like, it was the wildest 10 minutes of my life. Like because I was like, just be there in case like for some reason, because I hadn't had alcohol in like 2 years at that point. I was like, just don't want to be alone in case, who knows? So maybe don't be like Courtney. Also, wine like has sugar even without the sulfates and sulfates. So I literally don't know why that was my first choice. But it was because I wanted the flavor of wine. Like I enjoyed wine.
Yeah.
That was the last time I've drank. And that was during quarantine. That was like April 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, people did, I feel like even people that didn't drink that much did start drinking more.
Yeah, because there's
during
nothing
quarantine,
to do.
just for something to do. And that I never understood why liquor was considered an essential
Believe me, I've had this
necessity.
conversation so many times.
We
Literally,
won't get into that, but
it's just because they make a lot of money on it. Sorry, that's just the truth. We know that.
yeah.
If I couldn't go to my gym, but you could go to the liquor store for those first 3 months, I don't agree.
Yep, it makes me angry. But I mean,
Of course.
I still see people out there at the gas station wearing their mask, but then buying a giant icy and kolache, and I'm like,
What's a kolache? I need to ask.
you don't know what a kolache is?
No, I have no idea.
What is that?
But I know what an icy is. So
Okay.
sentence.
You know what an icy is. So a kolache is like, it's like a pastry thing. The most popular ones is kind of like a big pig in a blanket, So like stuffed with
Okay.
sausage, but they
All
also
right.
do like sweet ones where it's
All right.
stuffed with like kind of like apple pie filling or something like
Ooh.
that. So it's they do sweet savory ones. Most popular ones is like sausage,
Now I
but it's
totally
like
get
a
what you're saying. Why
giant
if they're,
puff pastry stuffed with sausage.
yeah, at a gas station.
Yeah, it's a German thing. I honestly don't know why it's popular down here, but it is.
That's why I'm like, is it like a north versus south type of thing?
Yeah. I'm not even really sure. I know it's really popular in Central Texas, but it was a
Okay.
like a large German population there, so I don't know.
I mean, it sounds good anyways. And like I've seen, I'm feel like I'm able to understand what you're saying because I've seen like pastries wrapped around literal hot dogs before. So it's
Hmm.
probably very similar to that.
Yeah, it's just like a big one. Kind of like a giant hot dog, but like with a pastry, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. I don't really eat sausage, so I don't eat them.
So is there ever a time and place when you say maybe don't drink right now? It's not beneficial for your health to your clients.
Definitely, if someone comes to me and they for sure have a lot of liver congestion, um, I would say for probably the majority of my clients, I suggest not drinking
Mm-hmm.
at least like, first 2 months that we're working together or
Yeah.
something like that. Um, but like someone with major liver congestion, major high estrogen levels, I will definitely
Mm,
say, please just try not to drink
yeah.
during, this certain amount of time. And then once your levels are lowered a little bit, we'll try adding it in and see how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are like you, and they're like, once they have it cut out and they feel
It's not as
how
fun.
good they feel off of
Yeah.
it, then if they do add it back in, it's at a much lighter level,
Yeah.
maybe just like one or two drinks a month or something like that. But yeah, that's my general recommendation for most people.
Totally. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of clients with liver stuff. And if they're like, I'm drinking 3 times a week, I'm like, all right, well, it's not helping you get towards your goals right now. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
working with someone one on one, you're spending money, you're spending attention. And like in my head, again, maybe it doesn't work this way for everyone, but like in my head, it's pretty easy to cut out drinking. I
Yeah.
don't, at least like even I cut it out right out of college. So like I went from literally binge drinking to not drinking at all. And like
Mm-hmm.
maybe that was a little bit harder, but like in general, when people aren't drinking that often, like if you want this goal so badly and you say like I'm willing to do anything, I'm willing to pay anything, I feel like low hanging fruit is like cutting out drinking. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like it's a super hard thing to eliminate in order to like make bigger strides in your health, to get your liver to fully function, to like help you really get like steps in the right direction. Because let's be real, like drinking is never benefiting your health.
Mm-hmm.
But lots of things aren't benefiting your health. That's not saying you cut it out forever, but like it's just never going to get you closer to your health goals.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's one of those things you have in as a vice later, like one of those things that like you're like, yeah, I won't cut that out. It's just not worth it for me. It makes me feel restrictive. I like having a drink later. But in the short term, in that like point where you really, really want to make strides, like you said, I just totally see the value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the most resistance that I get is like we talked about earlier, when that's the majority of the people that they hang out with,
Yeah.
is that's what they do. That's their thing, is just going to happy hour, going to the bars every weekend.
Yeah.
And that's where we also mentioned earlier, maybe you just need to take a step back from those people for a little while,
And it's
or like
hard.
you said, try to get them to do other activities with you
And
where
like,
like they can bring their own drinks, or you don't
yeah,
have to just go to a bar.
you can like go to a picnic and they can booze all they want and you can just bring a seltzer, bring a water, bring whatever you want. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you want alcohol free ideas, let me know. I have plenty. And I just think it's also worth saying that like some people worry about like if they're going to if their friends are going to still like them, if they're going to judge them because they're not drinking all of that. And truth be told, if someone's judging you because you're not drinking, it's a projection of what's going on in them, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they don't feel comfortable not drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they feel like everyone around them has to be drinking so that they feel okay with it.
Yep.
And I know you never want to hear that about someone you love, but like it's a projection of them. If they think you're not fun because of it, maybe it's because they're not fun. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you sit in a corner, but don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. Just be just as social, just hang out with your friends, enjoy being with them.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, if the only time they invite you to do things is to drink, and they don't invite you to do anything else, they don't say, let's go out to dinner, they don't say, let's go on a walk or anything, like, you either have to try maybe putting that stuff out there first, or maybe that's just someone that, like, maybe it's more of a convenience person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just in your life because of that. And I know that's another hard thing to say, but like the people that truly love you will make an effort to hang out with you, knowing your choices.
Yep. Exactly.
It's a tough pill to swallow, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh, yeah, no, there's like a lot of, that's why I go into like not even psychology, but I just make people think about why, because I'm like, once you understand this about yourself, like why you're uncomfortable not drinking this and that, it makes you understand everyone else better. Like when they're trying to
Mm-hmm.
pressure you.
Mm-hmm.
I always challenge all of my clients. I'm like, so why don't we just see what it feels like to cut it out right now? See if it's uncomfortable. And if it is, ask yourself why. And if you want to reach for that drink, why is it? Is it because I enjoy it? Because most of the time when you want to reach for something, it's not because you just enjoy the taste of it. Because even if you just enjoy the taste, you could probably go a little bit without doing it because you know it's not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, short term, not saying long term.
Yep.
It typically has to do with how it impacts your brain.
Yes. Yeah. If you're going to be fully committed to a healing journey, but you're not, like you said, willing to take something like that out,
In
then
the short
in my
term,
opinion, you can't fully commit to
yeah,
healing.
then you're not fully committed,
So,
even though you can say you are till you're
mm-hmm.
blue in the face, like I'm committed, I'm committed, I'm committed. Maybe it's just the way I look at it, but I think that drinking is such small potatoes compared to
Mm-hmm.
like when I was really, really bad digestive, like you could have told me I had to eat 4 foods for the rest of my life and I would have done it. If that was what would get me feeling normal, easy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I know I'm more of an obsessive personality, right? That would trigger a lot of people. But that's why I'm saying, like, I just think drinking in it's so, it's, if it's only for a couple months, you have to stop drinking. If you ever plan on getting pregnant one day, you're going to have to cut it out for a lot longer. So, like, make
Yeah.
this a little fun test run.
Yeah.
Why not?
Honestly, the sushi would be harder for me to give up while pregnant
The
than.
saunaing will be harder for me to give up. I literally thought of that one day. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to not sauna for 9 months?
I mean, living in Texas, I just go outside. So I'm like,
You literally live in a sauna.
yeah, we live
I
in a
know. I was
sauna.
like,
So.
how am I going to not sauna for 9 months? Please.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Tell me if you
You'll
figure
just
it
have to
out.
come visit me in the summer.
Oh,
Or, move to Florida.
oh, we don't even need to get into that. My mom, don't listen to this. She'll immediately text me and be like, so you're going to move to Florida? Your friend said it. That woman is relentless. Okay. Do you have any closing thoughts about drinking?
I think we covered most of it
I know.
that I wanted to bring up. I
I
feel like this
know.
was a good episode.
It's such a juicy topic. It's just so
Mm-hmm.
like, when does it have a time and place? Of course it does. If it impacts, if it feels like an orthorexic behavior, then like, I mean, you have to heal that first.
Mm-hmm.
I totally had orthorexia when I ate a candida diet for like 3.5 years. Like, yeah, that was definitely orthorexic. It was because I thought it would heal me.
Mm-hmm.
But like drinking, I didn't not drink because it felt restrictive, because I didn't feel restricted. I just didn't drink because I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetos doesn't taste good anyways.
It
I
really
also was
doesn't.
never someone that like really enjoyed the flavor of alcohol. Like, I think I'm one of those people that convinced myself I liked wine because it's such a society thing to like wine.
Mm-hmm.
And like wine in The Bachelor in college, we would have a glass of wine when we got home. And like, I don't know, I binge drank because I was a college student. But like, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely took it probably about as far as like most like traditional college students. Maybe I was more excessive. I'm an excessive personality, but like, I didn't like the taste. I just liked being drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that part of that had to do with liking being numb. But
I'm sure. I
oh,
mean,
I'm so sure.
yeah. I feel like that's most of the reason why, especially college kids drink, is to just shut everything off
Yeah,
because you
it's a
have
stress
so
reliever
much
because you
going
just
on in
turn it all off.
college. Yeah.
Hmm.
And again, it's a societal thing too because your peers are drinking, and when you're in college, you don't want to be that uncool person that's
Oh yeah.
not drinking.
And like my freshman year, my friends and I didn't drink, at least the first semester. We like would drink once a weekend instead of like multiple times every weekend, which was like not a lot in college. And then I don't know what, because also at the time I was still wary of like my liver, knowing I had a history of a liver disease, didn't know how far I could push my boundaries. And then honestly, I don't know when I decided that wasn't worth it anymore.
I mean,
Couldn't tell you.
you have to do things
Yeah.
to know
And
how
it
they're
got
going
me
to
here. So
affect
like
you.
it's all
Yeah.
worth it anyways. But like, yeah, no, I definitely went wild in college. But as do most, tale as old as time. I'm not the first. I won't be the last.
Definitely not.
No.
Now you have the tools in your toolbox to help other people.
Oh yeah. I know I'm gonna get probably karma on that though. When I have kids one day, they're gonna like go to college. And it's not even like my parents tried to like shelter me that much. Like I was not someone who felt like I had to rebel in college, but
It's
shit
just what you
happens.
do. Yeah, it's just what
Yeah,
you do.
so I'm gonna get that karma. Like my kids are gonna go wild in college. I wasn't even, I don't know, my siblings were worse. I don't need to throw them under the bus. Sorry, guys. Not throwing them. I was like, kind of threw them under the bus, not trying to do too much. They were worse. They drank more. They got in more trouble.
Courtney was
Yeah.
like, I was a good child.
Which is funny because I was the good child, but like amongst my friends, like I was the peer pressure. I was one of those, which is probably easy to picture.
I was going to say, I can see that.
You're probably not surprised. Peer pressured everyone, was always the one where if you could get me to go out, like if I wanted to stay in and you were like, Courtney, go out, I would always get more people to come with us. And
It's
I was an easy sell. A
totally
very,
opposite of my personality.
yeah. I'm like different now. Not like in that my personality is like muted, but I do still pressure people to drink because I think it's funny. I was at a
To
bachelorette
end
party.
this podcast, all about drinking, Courtney. I do still pressure people to drink.
Well, it's when people want to, like I'm not pressuring like
Yeah,
people that don't
no,
want
I
to
get
drink,
it. I
but
get it.
I was at a bachelorette party and I was like, so who's shotgun and beers next? Who's taking shots? And they were like, Courtney, you literally don't drink. And I was like, oh, you don't know me that well. Yes, I forgot. I
I don't
don't
drink,
peer
but
pressure your friends.
you'll drink. I'll watch you
Oh no.
drink.
And I used to do the same thing. I think that was like part of the reason I ended up binge drinking because I used to do the same thing, but then people would be like, I'll do it if you'll do it. And I'm like, I ain't no bitch. I'm gonna do it. And so then that was like, how
Yeah, the cycle.
it worked out well for me.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So
All right, well, that was our closing thoughts.
so where can the people find you?
You can find me at Emily Joy Wellness everywhere. What about you?
At the Rooted in Health, Instagram, TikTok, and my website. And thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. If you liked this podcast, we would love it if you subscribed. We would love it if you left a rating or review, any of that good stuff. Let us know what you want to hear from. You can DM either one of us. Also, is this where I'm going to say that we're doing a giveaway? So we're going to be doing a giveaway between when this podcast airs and the next one does. So it's going to be a full week. So Monday to Monday.
If you
We will
leave,
be, yeah. You go for it.
if you leave a rating and a review, what do we want to do? Have them email like a screenshot of it
Yeah.
to us? Okay.
Email
So,
screenshot to what's the email? You know it.
hothealedgirlpodcast@gmail.com. And I'll leave that in the description below so you can have it there. And also our contact info is there too. So you can find contact for Courtney, contact for me, there as well. But yeah, leave a rating and a review, subscribe to the podcast, and then just take a screenshot of that and email it to our Gmail account, and I will be giving away a King Coffee sample pack, and so will Courtney.
Yeah. So you're going to be entered to win a sample pack, 5 King Coffees from us. We're giving away 2. So you have a pretty good shot if you leave a rating or review, and you make sure to subscribe and send it to us.
Yes. And if you want extra entries, you can also screenshot the podcast and share it on your Instagram and tag both of us.
And we'll give you 1 extra entry. So that'll give you a decent shot to win one of the 2 prizes.
If you don't know what King Coffee is, go listen to our podcast about it. You know, we both love it if you follow us. So.
Yeah, or go on either of our Instagram. Listen to the podcast, either of our Instagram pages. We both have highlights about it. Lots of stuff, because podcast, if you're like, that's too long for me to understand what King Coffee is, you can just tap through.
Yeah, watch the highlights and you'll get a good gist of it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, all right. Well, we will talk to you guys in the next podcast where there will be King Coffee winners.
Yep. We're going to announce it first thing the next podcast. So,
yep.
Make it happen, people. You have a whole week.